Ready? O great high thunderer, in your mighty name, let this libation be hallowed. Through Nordwayo, through Nordwayo, through Nordwayo. Hail Woden, hail the high gods of Ossiard and Wanaham. Welcome to Ylfe's Hearth's Ylfe blot. A time to honour our elven or male forebears and to honour Lord Yngwie returning to Ylfe for the winter. This evening's full moon, a blue moon, which doesn't occur very often, hence the saying once in a blue moon. We as a long held few of the Anglican, we celebrate Ylfe blot this year falling on the 31st of October, which as I'm sure you all know is Halloween or Samhain to our Celtic brothers and sisters. This is a time when the veil between the realm of the living in Midanyard and that of the spirit realm is very thin. So today I'll be talking about Woden's wild hunts. I also will be praising the Alkis, the patron gods of our hearth, for their protection. Hail the Farron of the Eagle God, for this libation I have. I ask thee, high thunderer, through your name, that this libation be hallowed. For Nordwayo, for Nordwayo, for Nordwayo. Now it's a short prayer to the Alkis for the patrons of this hearth. Twins, horsemen, runners, dancers of joy, thank you for your light, your love, your teachings of faith, of devotion. Watch over my household, I beg of you. Grace me with your blessings. Twins, dancers, horsemen, sons of the sky, I am honoured by your grace. Hail the Alkis. Now, a short prayer to Lord Yngwie. Hail Yngwie, Lord of the field, we sow and reap, Lord of the beasts whose lives sustain our own, Lord of the elves of the green meads and wild woods of Ylfe. We thank you for the gifts of the earth who care for us as we care for her. We thank you for the needs of the body, the cravings that drive us ever towards life. Hail to Yngwie, granter of good fair-faced Wanir, whose hand we see in the growing world. Hail Yngwie. Now, I'd like to read a reading about the Woden's Wild Hunts. It's by a lady called Felicia Hermans from 1793 to 1835 she lived. And this is as it goes. When the sounds of howling dogs and screaming hags fill the air, with hunters following behind, the wise travellers will immediately cover his eyes and throw his body down into the middle of the road. If he is lucky, no harm will come other than the cold feet of the black dogs running over him and a lingering sniffle from lying in the middle of the road. As Gardria is a pack of shifting forest demons and animal gods, thousands strong, which sweeps through the countryside, killing everything in its path, a flood of horrific beasts, tentacled toads, insects of armour and spine and gelatinous serpents, oraculous beings with the face of a god, all poured forth from the great hollow tree, blind with fury. In Scandinavia, as Gardria, Odin's hunt, was heard but rarely seen. When Odin's hunt was heard, it meant changing weather in many regions, but it could also mean war and unrest. According to some reports, the forest turned silent and only a whining sound and dog barks could be heard. According to law, Odin does not ride but travels in a wheeled cart. The Norse god Odin, in his many forms astride his eight-legged steed Sleipnir, came to be associated with the wild hunt in Scandinavia because of his aspect of berserking. Odin acquired the aspect of the wild huntsman along with Frigga. The passage of this hunt was also referred to as Odin's hunt. People who saw the passing hunt and mocked it were cursed and would mysteriously vanish along with the host. Those that joined in sincerity were rewarded with gold. As Gadria is an ancient folk myth and prevalent across northern, western and central Europe. The fundamental premise in all instances is in the same phantasmal, spectral group of huntsmen with the accoutrements of hunting with horses and hounds in mad pursuit across the skies or along the ground or just above it. Perhaps not surprising, since the majority of written accounts come from Christianized times recorded by monks that former powerful pagan gods and goddesses loom large as the leaders of the demonic hosts. One of the most famous and enduring wild hunt stories comes from Germanic folklore, from Germany, Norway, Sweden and Denmark, recounting how at Yuletide, Woden or Wotan in the Anglo-Saxon and Continental Saxon tradition, or Odin in Scandinavian lands, led the wild hunt through the heavens. In pre-Christian oral traditions it would seem, however, Odin chased wood elves or sometimes beautiful maidens at the winter solstice around December 21st. One of the main times the hunt was seen, some accounts say he dropped gifts at the foot of his sacred pine for the faithful, possibly one of the oranges of Christmas presents. Odin's eight-legged steed Sleipnir was the source for the legend of the 8 reindeer of Santa Claus. Santa himself was the old holy king Odin and St. Nicholas rolled into one. When Odin was demonised, it can still be seen in his devilish persona as Black Peter or Black Rupert in St. Nicholas Day processions in Europe. Odin's huntsmen and women became the ungodly dead, who, when unable to gain admission to heaven, were released to hell to hunt for souls. The hunt story continued through Europe as a very useful deterrent to the clergy into Victorian times to prevent superstitious people frolicking illicitly after dark on pagan pursuits. Seeing the demonic host became, in Christian times, an omen of death within the year, an effective way of ensuring good folk were tucked up in their beds on the old pagan festival. For the first appearance of Odin's hunt was additionally recorded as occurring on the Germanic pagan festival of Winter Nights in mid-October, a little earlier than Halloween, when the fairies were traditionally out riding to their winter quarters and would also come to capture unsuspecting mortals. Helvorden, Leodisk os, Heil Hengisten Hosa, Leodisk Fedieras. That's the end of the bloat now. We'll sail to our Ylfe here, Ylfe N-wing holding bloat today with Gewis half in Somerset. We'll sail to Angenga, who is leading the inaugural bloat of our Anglican Venstre Mercy and Half today. And finally we'll sail to my friend Weirman Grimsraven of the Northern Dawn Kindred. Till next time, please stay safe in these uncertain times. Much love and respect. Drink Heil.